Hi everybody, I'm Corey, and welcome to the next episode of Opportunity Roll. Thanks for coming and thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and like on whatever you're listening through. The more you do that, the more people hear about us, and the more people will actually be able to see us on their feed, so they can join in the adventure. Enjoy the next episode. Hi everybody, I'm Corey, I'm the Dungeon Master, and welcome back to another Opportunity Roll episode. I'm here with Group 1. Say hi everybody.
Hi. Hi.
So interestingly enough, we're doing this as a double take tonight, so we just actually got done recording. And now we're doing another one. Alright everybody, let's go up the line and introduce everybody. Let's start with Red.
Hi, I'm Etta and/or Red, and I play Maggie, the Bard of Glamour.
Hello, my name is Neko, and I play Winters, the Human War Cleric.
Hi everybody, I'm Gunny, and I play Tensel Lostrit, the Elven Barbarian.
Hi, I'm Winter, and I play Charity, the Tiefling Cleric.
And y'all know me. So, recap of last time. We went through a decent bit last time. You guys woke up from this teleportation, basically. You guys found yourself in different parts of the town. Now, that ranged from animal troughs to sewers to even I believe Gunny woke up in the tavern, or not the tavern, the
Church to Aphrodite.
Yes, there we go, church. The word was eluding me. So there was a few interesting interactions. What occurred was there was a question of some sort of chosen one to Tensel as he was kind of walking through the whole patronage to Aphrodite, and they seem to have taken that as some sort of chosen of sorts, and you were asked to be a judge, or eventually you had spoken to them, and they believed that you were the messenger to the judge. And so they gave you this ring to pass along to the other follower of Aphrodite who had been spoken to. And so I believe that was them alluding to you giving it to Charity. Charity and Winters were outside of town, relatively an easy get-together. Of course, Winters was soaked head to toe as he woke up in a trough of water out front of the inn. And Charity was in the lower quarters. From there, we split off from you guys after you all met together and kind of spoken about what had happened to Tensel, and we met up with Red, Maggie, who was in the sewer. She bumped into a particular NPC known as Flora, a female humanoid that looked almost human. Pulled up hair, blonde, blue eyes, slightly peachy lips, and fair skin. I don't think there was she seemed different in a way, and yet at the same time, she bore no mark of being an elf or anything odd. So I think you kind of tried to stray away from her. Things seemed a little off, and that kind of off-put you to her. From there, I think that's actually where we stopped. You were heading off to try to meet up with the others, I believe.
And
Yeah,
Charity was headed back to the church.
Yeah.
Right. So let's go ahead and let's take a moment away from Maggie as she's trying to travel towards everybody else. Is there any, just to get a clarification before we continue, is there any particular place that Maggie would probably try to go to first?
She would try to go to a tavern to try to see if they heard anything about, strange occurrences with people randomly showing up anywhere.
Okay. All right. So with that in mind, the closest inn for you, because I know where you're at. You're in the lower quarters.
Yup.
You will find yourself at the Golden Goblet close to.
Oof. That sounds bad.
We'll get there. All right. But let's start up with Charity, Tensel, and Winters. You guys are not far off from the church itself. In fact, it's really pretty close. So it will take you probably about a 4-minute walk, if that, to get to the church itself. Now, of course, these doors are now open as this ceremony has ended. A few hymns have been sung, and the congregation is slowly leaving the church.
Wasn't Tensel and Winters headed to the closest tavern to ask about Maggie and Edmund?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. My apologies.
So it would just be... That's okay, I just wanted to clarify.
Mhm.
But Charity would walk up to the doors and start looking around to see if she can find Gareth.
Yes, Gareth.
Right. So yeah, she'd be looking around for Gareth.
Give me a quick perception check. Let's see if you can spot him through the small crowd.
Natural 20, 24.
Alrighty, so with a natural 20, it won't be hard. You know that for most of the time, if the congregation is leaving, Gareth will stand at the very front of the church as where he does his presentation, his hymns, and his kind of reciting from the Book of Aphrodite. He will allow anybody to approach as the congregation ends in hopes of, speaking, kind of coming to him about issues and such. Now, this is this, I believe this is the church from which you came from at the very beginning.
Yeah, this was the church that she was taken to when her aunt and uncle didn't want to take care of her after her parents went missing.
Yeah. So, upon you kind of walking up, he'll give a smile and a nod. He seems, it's a lot less formal than usually, but Gareth is more so the reliant on formality. He doesn't try to use first names for the most part. From what you remember, he doesn't. Most of his formalities comes with speaking in property. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Charity will grin when she gets up close to him and cursing her like, "It's a pleasure to be back."
So, I take it that means then your time among the people is over, or is it a stop along the road?
A stop along the road, I'm afraid. I believe that you gave a ring to my friend, asking him to be a judge in the tournament.
Yes.
He has sent me here to politely decline. He is a very timid person. I don't believe he would be very comfortable in that open of a setting.
Then I see that he was mistaken a bit. The ring once discussed was not intended for him, but he was in such a messenger. He had informed us that he had a friend who had spoken to Aphrodite herself, and as I can see from, and he's going to point up to the missing horn, you seem to have had contact. From which the story he had spoken about, it was one of which you had an interaction. So, of course, we had given him the ring to give to you.
Truly. And her hand is going to go move to the stub of her horn. Well, it would be my honor. There's a few things that I have to do in town, but I will do my very best to be there and be present.
As per usual, you know that the church does give currency to those who are judges for the year. The currency this year is 250 gold for the judge.
Of course, I would very much appreciate it. I would ask, however, that you either keep the gold as a donation to the church, or allow me to present it amongst my friends for their help of bringing me here and, all of us traveling together.
Well, that is, of course, your option. We are always accepting charity here. As, of course, Aphrodite is, known for giving love amongst her people. And, of course, you are also free to maybe even potentially do both. Donate half and spread the half through your friends. In the end, it is your decision in which you would like to do.
Charity will nod appreciatively. When am I requested at the tournament area?
Per usual, day of the event, the tournament area will occur the night of the festival itself.
Of course. If I may, is there a place that we may speak in private about some matters that we may need assistance with? Of course, I would like to go and get my companions to ask for their help in explaining such matters.
Well, potentially. I do have 2 ceremonies in which congregate marriage later this evening, but if you can do it before the sun sets, then I might have some free time.
All right, I appreciate it very much. I will hopefully be back soon.
I will be here awaiting.
She will curtsy again and then start leaving.
All right. So back at the inn, we will find Winters and Tensel. You guys will be in the Giant's Toe Inn at this point. With the rain pouring down outside, kind of giving it a pretty hefty fall. This place normally would probably be packed with those drinking and other things like that, but for the most part, you might get a handful of people just trying to stay out of the rain. So a couple people with slightly soaked or dampened clothing, sitting around with not really anything to drink or anything to do, while there is a bartender just to the back of the room who is prepping, I guess, what you can think of for later that night. They seem to be getting things ready, so to speak, as if they're prepping for a rush of some kind.
Winters will essentially walk up to the bar owner and ask, "Have you seen a relatively short girl, blonde, short hair, come in here?"
The bartender is going to turn around. They're going to give a soft kind of smile. What you are looking at is a drow, or like kind of like a half drow. It is a male, rather long white hair, eyes to match as the pupils are light tan, skin very dark, almost onyx-like, and pointy ears. I do apologize, sir, but you might need to be a bit more specific. With a bar as such, we find many people with that general description.
She loves to perform.
Mm-hmm. I see. I can I do apologize. There is, I mean, it does narrow it down a bit, but I've seen 6 people with that description, and there is 3 in the brothel that also fit the description just down the road.
Do you have any other taverns or inns in the city?
There are 2 others in the city. I know that there is, of course, the Giant's Toe Inn here, which has rotating shifts. There might be a bartender later in the evening or early in the morning, in which case might have more information. I myself just arrived here probably about an hour ago. There is a very particularly unsavory place in the lower end of town known as the Golden Goblet. It has a reputation, so to speak, of pre-war and he's going to lean in. It's honestly a bit racist there. But other than that, up a town there is a place known as the Gilded Chest, in which that deals with mostly nobles, but it's very pricey and probably rented out this close to the festival.
Thank you for the information. And Winters will turn around and leave and kind of...
as you go to turn around, he'll kind of give a...
He looks back and just stares at him.
He'll kind of have his hand extended a little bit, like almost like the information isn't free.
Winters. Sorry, go ahead.
Could I get a drink as well? And Tensel will slide over a gold piece, kind of timidly.
Ah, yes, exactly. What would you like to drink?
Something nutritious.
Okay. Let's see. We have a certain type of berry juice. We do have, of course, water. Can get much more nutritious than a fresh stream. Let's see. We have a particular fairy ale that is low in alcohol, but very good in antioxidants. Well, from what they call antioxidants, it's apparently really good.
I'll have one of those, and if you could, I'd like to take it with.
Take it with food.
He'll kind of stammer for a bit, and then he'll just hold out his water skin.
Oh, take it to go. Yes, I can do that. He will take your water skin, of course, and he will pour in probably about a gold's worth of the drink, filling it up. Here you go.
Thank you, and thank you for the help. And now Tensel will turn to leave.
He'll smile happily and return back to his deeds.
So, Winters is going to start heading towards the Golden Goblet?
Yes.
Yes, he'll start heading towards there.
Okay.
And kind of keep a hand on his weapons, just because the drow said that it's a very unsavory place, and also that there's a bit of racism. And Tensel is a elf. He is a human, so you didn't really specify the racism either.
I don't think we've ever gone over it. I don't think all too much. I thought he was a variant human.
He is, but you never know. It could be an area that's racist against humans, or...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, understood. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with Maggie. You're the closest to the Golden Goblet. We're going to start with you a little bit, and as Tensel and Winters are making their way to the town, I'll let you guys know when you can be introduced. Maggie, as you roll up at this place, it is best way to put it, downtrodden for the most part. It's in need of some tender care. Inside, through the main window out front, you can take a look at the main foyer, as there are tables closer to the front that are mostly humans. And to the back, there are humanoid people that look dwarven, very small, stout, and they seem to be well divided. They don't seem to intermingle. In fact, as if you were to kind of watch for a second or two, they almost look segregated.
Okay. Maggie's gonna look around nervously because this is a downtrodden tavern. She knows she looks pretty fancy. I mean, she doesn't smell nice, but she'll start looking around for anyone that's familiar, which she probably won't find. So,
you can give me a quick perception check. That is a 6.
woo.
Looking around with all the heavy rain falling and there's not a lot of people in the road, I would say that there's nobody that you can see that looks familiar to you, nobody that would pique your interest off the bat, and nobody that would raise any kind of, oh, I know that person, kind of, so to speak.
Yeah. And you said it's raining right now, I'm sorry?
Yes, it's heavily raining.
Okay, so she's going to go into the tavern and she's gonna slowly take her hood off and try to stay as close as she can to the shadows without trying to bring any attention to herself.
Okay. As you kind of walk in, the humans will look over to you for a second. Their glares will not last long. They'll start to pretty much ignore you after that. You might catch the eye of a guy or two, but it's more or less an interest look, not necessarily like anything dangerous. The dwarves in the back, however, they're going to give you almost a disdained look. Like they clearly don't want you there, but they're not going to outright say anything or make a scene, as there seems to be some sort of balance that has been struck in this bar.
Okay.
And immediately you can kind of feel the tension upon walking in between the two sections of people. It's clear they are segregated and they are not intermingling. Nobody talks to each other. Anybody close to the center has their backs turned towards the other race.
Maggie will nervously find a table that has nobody in it.
Okay. Let's see here.
And when she sits down, she's gonna have her back straight. She's gonna clearly look nervous as she would slowly sit in the chair. Her eyes are shifting a little bit, and
Well, with that, I don't think anybody's going to approach you right off the bat. You will probably sit there for about 5 minutes. The bartender, who is a very particular person, very slender, male, he's going to have short hair. He doesn't seem like the buff kind of fighter type. If anything, he seems more along the lines of just an average person. He's going to have brown hair and a light hazel-tinted green eyes. He'll stand probably about 6 foot, a little bit on the taller side of humans, and he'll kind of look to you. What can I get you to drink?
May I just have some water, please?
All right. Anything to eat?
No, I'm fine. Thank you. I appreciate it. And she'll clear her throat a little bit. She'll be like, I'm sorry. She's gonna look around, trying to not make it like she's not trying to make eye contact with anyone, but she probably does by accident. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. He's going to take note of this, and he's going to lean in a bit. Listen, look, it's not that I don't like the patronage. Don't get me wrong, and I wish everybody could be safe in here, but this bar has a bit of a reputation. You don't seem the sort to be around here. Are you sure this is really the place you want to stick around in?
Well, I'm actually looking for some of my friends. We were separated, and as okay, so there is one that's a tiefling. She's missing a horn. Have you maybe seen her? Or an elf?
No, not particularly.
Okay, have you seen a young boy, maybe? Well, he's not really young now. She's gonna like motion to about the height of Edmund. About that tall, brown, shaggy hair.
Can't say I've seen that either. But then again, we don't get much besides what you see.
She'll nod. I'm sorry. I can leave. If it causes you too much trouble, she'll quickly stand up.
It's not that it's going to cause me trouble. I believe it's the trouble that it might cause you.
No, I appreciate that, but that will also cause problems for you. I'll just go. And she's gonna quickly make her way out.
It'll probably be once you leave. Of course, he'll give you a nod and an understanding kind of thing. And once you leave, it'll probably be about that time that Winters and Tensel are going to come around the corner to the lower end tavern.
Do I bump into them, or?
I would say I would give Tensel and Winters a perception check. With you just coming out, you might not see them right away.
That's totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Tensel, you'll probably see Maggie even through the rain. It's not hard considering there's not many people in the road currently. Winters, you might get like a good splash or two in your eye, so you're blinking a little bit trying to actually see anything at this point. But you don't see anything.
There she is, Maggie. He's gonna like kind of raise his hand up to like try to make himself a little bit more known.
Maggie will whip her head around to whomever's calling her name. Do I need to do perception as well, or? No.
Once he kind of calls you out, you can take a turn and you'll notice them. If you had probably continued towards the higher end district, you might have ran into them. But if they hadn't noticed you and you hadn't noticed them through the rain, you might have passed each other by.
Okay. Well, Maggie, when she sees both of them, she's gonna run over to them and like, whoever's like, if Tensel's leading, she'll hug him. But if Winters is leading, then she'll run into him and hug him. So whomever's in front is getting hugged.
That would be Winters.
Yeah, she'll just like plow right into you. She's small, so she probably didn't do much.
He's just like, happy to see you too. Where did you end up?
I was in the sewers.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Is Charity okay? Where's Edmund? Is Nia around? Where? She's gonna start looking around for everyone.
Charity is at the Aphrodite's temple. That's where we found Tensel. I ended up in the trough in the stables, and I believe Charity was nearby in a more reputable place. We still haven't found Nia or Edmund.
So you don't know where Edmund is at all?
Not at all.
We're still looking.
He's a capable boy, but oh boy. She's gonna rub her temples. If he ended up anywhere where I'm at, I mean, she's still gonna have this worried look on her face.
We'll find him, don't worry. We should regroup with Charity.
Maggie, sorry, go ahead.
She'll meet us at the end next, or near the temple.
Maggie will nod. I hope they have a bath or something. Oh, we could walk and talk, but, and she's gonna motion for them to walk with her as she's telling them about this. There's something down in the sewers that isn't right.
That isn't right?
I was attacked by these vicious-looking creatures. They're like evil-looking slugs, and she's gonna hold her boot up. I don't know if the rain washed off what was left of it, but
I would say, yeah, for the most part, between walking through puddles and the heavy rain, it would most likely be washed.
I figured. She's gonna look at her boot and she'd be like, well, it's not there anymore, but there's something going on everywhere in Krokka, it seems. And by everywhere, I mean everywhere.
Was there something else you encountered, or?
There was this woman named Flora. She was kind of odd, and she was looking for samples of the creature. I mean, she seemed harmless, and her group seems harmless, but it just seems odd, and it just doesn't... Why isn't Krokka making a bigger deal out of this? I understand not making the populace panic, but...
Are they maybe unaware?
How could... I mean, I don't know if there's been any deaths. I didn't really ask. I just kind of ran because those things were chasing me. But maybe they don't. But it needs to be addressed. But there's so many things we need to address. Why is Krokka a mess? She's gonna like stop and stomp her foot. Why? Why is it a mess?
I don't know. I'm not from here.
Fair enough. I just wanted to voice that. Just felt.
But it's not every day nobles go into the sewers, so it makes sense that they might not know.
Yes, but what if it comes out to the people, and then it starts harming the people? She's gonna look really worried, and like her true colors are kind of showing here. And she's like, "Does Krokka not care about their people?"
I'm not sure, but I'll stand by them.
I will too, but sorry, let's just keep moving. She's gonna shake her head and keep walking.
Winters will kind of follow and then start to lead towards the where the inn was.
Okay. As you guys continue on towards the Giant's Toe Inn, I would assume mid-range bar, I believe.
Yep.
Okay. It'll probably take you guys about 10-15 minutes, and through this conversation, you guys eventually will end up there. I would say if Charity is done at the church, then she would probably arrive about 2 minutes after you guys walking through the door, if that's where she's going.
Yeah, she'd be heading to the nearest tavern from where they were last, so it would make sense it'd be there.
Yeah. So you would probably leave, and you would head back to kind of the troughed area from where Winters had woken up, where you guys had run into each other, which would be the Giant's Toe Inn.
Oh, thank God you guys found Maggie. And she'll run over and she'll hug Maggie.
Maggie will hug Charity tightly. I mean, I know Winters and Tensel said they had him tonight. Well, I mean, she's gonna be like, I asked a stupid question. He'd be here if you guys have found him. I'm sorry.
What do you mean? You don't know? All right, so it appears they still have to be searching. Okay. Do we have any ideas where Near and Edmund would have appeared?
No, and that's what worries me because I ended up in the sewers.
Great.
By the way, I would tell you, we need to talk to some nobility about what's going on in the sewers. But that's...
Did you collect some kind of proof? I'm afraid no one will listen to us without proof.
She'll slowly blink. No, no, I didn't. Sorry, I just, okay. She's gonna start thinking to herself, but go on.
Well, I have the leader of my church here in Krokka is expecting us to come and talk about this if we wish to ask for their help.
Do they have bats?
Do they have what?
Bats. Sorry.
Oh, baths. Yes, and I'm sure that we will have a room there. It is one of the privileges of being an acolyte of Aphrodite.
Maggie's shoulders will slink like as if she's like, oh, thank God.
And try to look at Tensel and Winters and be like, well, you guys alright to head back to the Church of Aphrodite so that she may have a bath, or would we like to try to blindly search for Nia and Edmund?
Unless I'm needed, I can go around and ask some of the shopkeepers and see if they've seen them, but if you'd like, I don't mind getting wet.
Winters, would you be comfortable going with Tensel? That way none of us are alone. We know that something is going to happen.
Of course, I'll go with Tensel.
Alright. Well, Maggie, let's start heading back.
Maggie's gonna nod.
Shall we meet you both back at the temple, or is there somewhere else you would like to meet?
The temple is fine.
Yeah, temple's fine.
Alright, we will wait there for you then.
Okay. So, after kind of moving through town and kind of getting together and trying to meet up with everybody, talking to people and everything like that, this is probably going to be about 4 p.m. Let's go ahead and go with Charity and Maggie to the temple. As far as it goes for you guys, Tensel and Winters, do you know in which direction you'll be heading to gather information?
Tensel would probably lead the way, going through like the middle class and asking the various shop owners through there before going into the lower class.
All right, so through the middle class.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go with Winters. Charity and Maggie. Of course, like I said, the walk isn't too far from there, probably about 4 minutes. With the rain, the streets are pretty much empty. By the time you get there, the doors will be unlocked but closed to keep out the rain. And when you walk in, there will only be probably about a handful of people, either in the pews reading through manuscripts or maybe doing their own kind of prayer. Gareth, the main clergy member, will be prepping some sort of late evening ceremony at the very shrine near the statue itself of Aphrodite.
Charity will turn and make a beeline for Gareth.
All right. I assume Maggie's following?
Oh yeah, close behind.
Okay. You guys will approach Gareth. He won't stop working. With being quite familiar to Charity, he'll kind of give like a slight turn while he continues to work. Of course, you know that since you've been here quite some time, you know that he's working towards getting everything prepped and ready for the later ceremony, and that comes first. Welcome back. I did not see you. I didn't think I'd see you so soon.
We wanted to know if there was a room available in the temple for us.
Of course. There is, just in the bell tower, just underneath the bell, there are 2 rooms in which you could stay if you like. Each room has 2 beds, so you can take 1 room or split up and take 2. It's up to you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Gareth, this is Maggie. I'm teaching her about Aphrodite. Would you like any help with the ceremony after I take her to the room?
He's gonna look over the things, kind of rub his chin a little bit. No, I don't think particularly there's any need for that. I think I've got it all taken care of. I'd just say feel free to enjoy the festivities. I know it's raining outside, so there might not be much going on currently.
You know me. I like to run in the rain. I constantly annoyed you and all of the acolytes when I was younger.
Yes, well, now that you're older, it's all on your shoulders. So, not that we don't care, but you may do as you wish.
She'll grin and then curtsy again. Say, I will be back a little bit later after we find the rest of my friends, and then start heading to the available rooms.
Okay. So, if you head off to the left, you will find a doorway, and that will lead up a spiral staircase. In at the end of the spiral staircase, it's 2 doors right next to each other. There is one that is slightly left ajar and one that is closed.
She will go and knock on the door that's slightly ajar just to make sure there isn't anyone occupying it.
Looking inside, there doesn't seem to be. There's no personal effects. There's 2 beds, a fireplace, a bath area, and a bookshelf filled with manuscripts.
She's gonna smile and then push open the door and wave Maggie in first.
Maggie will follow in and just wait in the room for her.
Okay.
She'll come in and close the door and be like, well, there's a bath screen there. There isn't running water in the temple, but I can go down and fill a couple buckets and bring them back up, and then we can heat it with magic, of course. If you want to just relax for a little bit. I'm sure the sewer was stressful.
Yes, but I will help you bring the buckets up. I'd feel awful if you were doing that for me.
Oh, it would be good for you to know where it is for the time we're staying here. That way you can do it yourself. She'll laugh and then start heading out of the room again.
Yeah, Maggie will just be like, she'll put down a lot of her things, like her viola and stuff like that, and her bags and stuff like that, and her book, and she'll quickly follow after Charity.
All right, so we'll split away from you guys as you guys are getting settled kind of washed up and readied, we'll head to Tensel and Winters as you guys make your way through most of the midsection of town. With the heavy rain, there isn't many stalls open. The few that are have sort of like a roofing of tapestry above them, and most of those are general goods, things like clothing, maybe small items.
Tensel would approach the one, taking just a general look over what they have, and then looking to the shopkeeper themselves.
Do you want to make a perception check to see if there's anything that suits your eye, or are you not really all too interested in the items?
He'll take a good look. I mean, he doesn't want to come off rude, as in he doesn't want to buy anything, because that in his mind he would find that extremely rude and kind of a waste of the shopkeeper's time.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a quick check.
And that would be a 15 on that.
For the most part, it's fairly simple. A few bits of newer clothing. There are kind of little trinkets, so to speak, to commemorate this year's event. Things kind of like almost like keychains. For weapons, you can kind of suit a little bit of a metal ring at the end of the blade itself for like a little charm or something like that. So he has charms for things like that, clothing as well, books, bookmarks, those kinds of things. The thing, I think there is particularly two things that might strike your fancy. There seems to be a spell scroll amongst his items, and just oddly enough, a stone.
He'll think back to the crystal that had started this adventure with him, and he'll kind of take a piercing look at the stone.
It is, like most stones, a grayish. This one looks almost like a castle gray stone, but it is a polished piece. No rough edges. It's not see-through. It looks to be your average everyday rock that you could find along the road, except it's been given care to be polished.
After seeing that there isn't really much to it, he'll look up to the shopkeeper. I do have a question for you, if you don't mind taking the little bit of time. And he's going to look around to see if there's any other customers there, seeing if there's anybody like trying to actually buy something.
Okay. From a general glance around, there's not going to be anybody else at the stall. There is a single person, probably about 2 stalls down, kind of looking at just a couple of the books that might be on display, but they don't seem to have any intention or looking towards the area that you're at now. The general goods salesman will look up to you, kind of give you a soft smile. Yes?
We were wanting to find out if you had seen anybody come through here. There's 2 people we're still looking for. One would be a tiefling. She kind of carries around her own odd sort of jumble of trinkets of her own. And the other would be a younger man, a bit of a scholarly looking type, brownish dark hair, pretty well cut. Have you seen anybody?
Well, as for the girl, there's a lot of vendors around this year, so unfortunately the description in which you give is widely spread. As for the boy, I would probably check more in the higher district. There doesn't seem to be... I mean, there are plenty of peoples from the guilds walking around, so... I really hate to say it, but after about the 100th person, faces kind of blend together.
I completely understand. We all just arrived shortly, and we've kind of lost track of each other.
Yes, and grossly this year, I think the final tally was about 5,000 people in Krokka.
That's quite a bit of people.
Yes, indeed. They like to announce it in order to show off the populace that has gathered this year.
I'm sure it's quite the generous gathering you guys have been able to bring in.
Record so far.
He'll take another quizzitive look to the books there before him.
Interested in magic and lore?
I'm not too particularly good with magic, but it is quite intriguing at times.
Well, these books, let's see, I have Wizardry for Beginners, Druids Among the Leafs, and very particularly good female novel.
None of those seem to pique my interest in that.
Right,
Would you happen to have any on sword fighting, perhaps? Something of that nature?
Sword fighting, no. However, there is a blacksmith just down the way. He might be of some kind of use. I know they carry a very small bit of manuscripts on different fighting styles between blades and lances and other kinds of weaponry.
Well, thank you very much. And he'll turn to Winters. Is there anything that might pique your fancy?
Nothing for me right now.
Right. Well, searching through my memory, about a day or two ago, there was, oddly enough, a boy, somewhat fitting the description a little. I don't know if he's scholarly in any way, but he was looking for the entrance to Krokka, which is odd because really, well, I guess it is a big place, but I didn't think it too much odd. But he somewhat fits the description of your person. Now, where he is, I don't know. He went down into lower districts, but I doubt he would still be found there.
Thank you very much. And he'll look over his trinkets again, just to try to find something that would be of worth of comparative to what the information he's given him.
Okay. Let's take a look. There is, upon a second glance, if you give me a quick perception check, we can see if there was anything you missed.
Same thing as before.
Another 15. I mean, this time you're like really focusing in and kind of really looking at things. There is a box over to the side draped with some sort of cloth, probably to protect whatever's inside from like water or anything like that. It doesn't look like it's off limits. It's more or less just protecting it. Would you wish to pull the cloth back?
Tensel will point over to that. What is that?
A few bits of smaller common-like scrolls of magic, a few bits of trinkets here and there. Anything in that box is just relatively 2 gold.
Okay. Do you have anything like scroll-wise that would definitely help out in a pinch?
I have. He's going to motion to the scroll in front of you. I have a scroll of healing of some kind. It's I think it's not necessarily weak. I think it might be about a step above your normal healing spell. That itself is probably about 1.5 gold, about 5 silver, 1 gold. I do have smaller things in here and some sort of like little stones of sort.
That scroll of healing will definitely come in handy. And he'll reach in and pull out 2 gold. Do you think you could break this for me? I don't have any silver.
Yes. I keep things on me just enough to be able to return change. So if you hand it over, he will give you 5 silver back in return.
Thank you very much for your time and for the information as well. You have yourself a nice day.
Of course. If there's anything else in which you need, I might be able to get my hands on it. With the rain, though, its selection is really slow. So do come back, and I'll see what I can do.
Tensel will nod, appreciative of what he's been able to do. And then as they're walking away, he'll kind of lean over to Winters. Maybe you should lead the next one. I'm not too good at this.
No problem. Just lead the way.
And Tensel will start heading toward the next closest shop.
The next closest shop will, for the most part, have simple daggers, maybe ornate things that are just display only, not really combat worthy. They will have intricate designs of Krokka's main sigils used for the town, which of course is a large lake, and what seems to be a serpent's head popping from the lake. There are boxes of crates behind him. The gentleman in which you are going to come across, this gentleman is going to be particularly old. We're talking, this man looks almost as if he's in his 90s. A long, white, flowing beard with a gray kind of average type of robe on him. He will sit cross-legged. And behind these daggers and small trinkets, there will be 3 sized boxes or crates. One will probably be about the size of... for us, I'd say it's probably about the size of... how best to put it? I'm trying to think, really. About the size of an Easter basket? Well, those vary in size, so that's hard to say. I'm trying to think.
Would it be about the size of a laundry basket? Because those are typically uniform.
Yes. The one in the center is roughly about the size of probably a stack of 2 to 3 books, and then there is a small one that might be able to be held in your hand with it's a 5-inch by 5-inch kind of cube. Welcome.
Hello, have you seen a, well, I guess he wouldn't be a boy now. He'd be around, 5'11" to 6 foot, brown hair. About someone who doesn't really belong in his body, if that makes sense. And a tiefling with, I honestly forget what did Nia look like?
She had like 3 horns, human skin on as far as color. So she looked all but human. Besides, she was. Let me pull up her description real quick.
I guess at the same time, Winters will kind of just describe Nia and Edmund the best of his ability, and ask if he's seen them.
So she's about 5'8". Her hair is always a little frizzy and awry. She carries a crescent sword as a shield of armor. She seems to have some sort of moonlight theme about her. I would say that the one general thing that is easy to tell is her skin is almost a white, her hair is red, and she has 3 horns. With the description that you give, I cannot say that I have seen a female of that description. The boy, however, I've seen him walk through a few times. I can't say whether or not he looked as if he was in the wrong body or shape of generally how you put it. But he seemed lost, almost. Yes. Not sure where he's residing.
Do you know which direction he went in?
Last I saw, probably about 5 hours ago, he went to the Noble District.
All right.
If that, of course, is the person that you're talking about.
Worth a shot.
Can I interest you in my luck boxes? And he'll kind of give a wave of the small wooden crates in front of him.
No, thank you. We're all right.
Right.
And Winches will start to leave. Winches will ask, since Winches isn't really familiar with Krokka or the area, Winches will ask Tensel, "Do you know where the blacksmith is, or?"
On the one time I passed through here, I really didn't stay that long to know much of the town.
All right. Well, I guess our only lead is to go to the Noble District.
It would seem so. We could ask for directions if it isn't obvious.
Winters will go back inside and ask for directions.
Inside? Oh! You mean to the older gentleman?
Yes.
Okay, so he's kind of like at the side of the road underneath the tapestry. But yeah, he'd smile. Wow, well, welcome back. Did you change your mind?
No, we need directions to the Noble District and also to a blacksmith.
The blacksmith is about 3 doors down, and he'll kind of point in the general direction. If you follow this road and take a right, it'll take you to the main street. From there, you'll be able to see the upper district.
All right, thank you. We'll be on our way.
Mm.
And he will make his leave and head towards the blacksmith.
Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll separate from you guys. We'll get back to the girls. What I'd say probably about 20, 30 minutes after that has passed. What would you girls be up to?
Charity's just going to be sprawled out on the bed, just like laying there while she lets Maggie just relax in the bath.
Maggie would be stewing in the bath for a long time. And as Maggie's stewing in the bath, she hasn't really looked at herself lately, and she's going to look down in the water and see her reflection. And she's going to hear a little sniff coming from Maggie.
Charity's going to sit up a little bit and look over at the screen that Maggie's behind and just be like, "Are you okay?"
Maggie will reply for a minute as she's like trying to keep her composure. But whenever you're trying to say something when you're about to like break down and cry, but you can't. Because your throat closes up.
Yeah, you got that ball in your throat.
Yeah, Maggie's breaking down right now.
Charity's just gonna like put her hand on like on top of the screen and kind of lean a little bit and be like, do you want me to come over there and hold your hand or something? What can I do?
She's gonna you're gonna just see her one of her little hands poke out from the screen and make a grabby hand.
Chatty's gonna chuckle and just sit on the floor and hold her hand. Like, what's wrong?
She's gonna cry for a good 5 minutes, and then when her eyes are really puffy and she's able to finally speak, she's gonna be like, I wasn't expecting this at all.
Expecting this? You mean you weren't expecting to go on a massive adventure that's requiring us to save my hometown and the hometown of very many people and get teleported here through some weird magic? You weren't expecting that?
No,
Chad's just gonna laugh and lean back a bit so she can smile and be like, it's okay. You're fine. You'll be okay.
I know I'll be okay. Just you read the storybooks and they don't mention all the heartache. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The stories glorify the ending. They glorify the good parts. But they never mention all the long nights on the road and the hard battles when you've barely slept. It's part of stories.
Maggie will nod. I don't regret coming out here. It's obviously helped me grow a lot, but my parents could be dead, Charity.
I don't think they're dead. I think that they're fine. They're just being cautious.
She's gonna open her mouth to say something, and then she's just gonna nod. I need to remain positive. There's so many thoughts going through my head, and
it's okay not to be positive for once. Everyone needs to be the pessimist every now and then. You can't always be optimistic. It's tiring. It's exhausting.
she'll nod. I guess I should take my own advice that I gave Edmund.
Yes. Let your emotions out. Let yourself breathe.
I just want to see my son again.
I'm sure you will eventually.
He always knew what to do to make me laugh or smile when I felt sad. Not that you're not helping it.
I'm not your childhood friend. I've known you for all of, a couple months now? It makes sense that you want someone's company that you've known for a very long time.
Maggie will nod. Did you know that he was my first kiss?
I did not, but that's adorable.
Maggie will laugh a little bit. Sorry, she's gonna blush a little bit. This actually makes me feel a little better talking about him. But
Good.
I mean, I don't have to talk about him though. I know I've been very hyper focused on him lately. But I guess it's because it's the only thing I could grab at this point.
I'll be honest with you. I'm very angry with you for just abandoning that quest. Those gnolls could have hurt a lot of people. And I hope that he could take care of it. I really do. And that we won't find out that he's dead and we're carrying around his coat for no reason. But I also understand why you wanted to just push on. You just need to remember that, although it does suck, you're a noble. Doing things like that can really affect the way that people perceive your town.
Maggie will nod. Yeah, I guess I have to treat it like I'm at a banquet, or if I'm talking to other nobles, you know?
Unfortunately, yes. And I understand there were times where, especially around here, I have to be on my best behavior here. A lot of people know me. I'm an acolyte. Anything that I do wrong comes back on my temple. So I get it. It is difficult, and it's not fun to have to be strong and always mind your tongue. It's just...
I'll be honest, I've been very open with you all because I never wanted you guys to see me as a noble, you know? I always wanted to see it through the eyes of people that weren't nobility, if that makes any sense.
It's good to have a party that you trust and that you can be yourself with. It's fine when we're on the road and you want to act the way you want to act, or when we're in our rooms and you want to do whatever you want to do. It's just around other people that we don't know, or that we barely know, that you have to be careful. Like we told you when you first met, we taught you that you can't just go around saying that you're a noble, that it puts a target on your back. This is kind of the next step, that you have to remember that even though you don't want to go running around screaming that you're a noble, you should still act like it, especially when you meet other nobility, because there's a high chance they'll know who you are.
Maggie will nod. Yeah, I guess I just, without all the fancy perfumes and fancy wines and all that stuff, I guess I just kind of forgot myself.
It's always good to have a little while where you forget yourself. I'm surprised though, usually that's what happens in college. You went to the bard at college.
Maggie will blush a little bit. She'll be like, yes, that time was interesting.
It usually is for everyone.
I never fit in very well, believe it or not, because I didn't. That's why I tried every, and she's gonna like shake her one of her hand, the hand that's free. I tried every single, class of the Bardic College. Nothing fit. I was too loud for the whispers. I was not, I guess, a fighter for the valor. I just didn't fit anywhere. And then I met my teacher, who was Faye, and she told me that I wasn't meant for all that. I was meant to help others feel better. So what the better way to do that with performing, I guess.
Maggie, you're a sweet, innocent flower. The school that you chose works very well for you, and you do very well in it. Everybody has their place.
Yeah. It was just funny when I tried to do the whispers class and everybody kept looking at me funny. They said
I'm very sure.
They even said that I read too loud. I don't know how that's possible. I was just sitting there reading what he told me to read. I was very confused.
That sounds confusing to me. I'm sure there's a reason, but
I guess I don't know.
Are you feeling better?
Maggie's gonna nod. Yeah. Thanks for talking to me. And I'm really, really sorry I didn't back you up on that. It will never happen again. I promise you. You have my word, not only as your friend, but as a noble.
It's a learning curve, dear. As you go out to adventure more, you'll understand that when people are in need of help, it's always a good idea to help them. In this particular situation, I know that it may sound cold, but helping those people might give us a leg up in talking and convincing people here that they need to leave. We won't be a group of nobodies.
Maggie will nod. I get what they're saying. It gives you the in that you need.
Exactly. And yes, I do know that that sounds very cold and calculating. There are many reasons. That's just a good one to point out. You should get out of the bath now. You've been in there for a very long time.
Maggie's then going to realize how cold the water is and look at her fingers and be like, oh yeah, I'm pruny. She's going to instantly stand up.
Chaddock's going to laugh and head over to the bed to give her some privacy again.
Yeah, she's going to dry off and she'll be getting ready to, she's going to try, she's going to switch into a fresh pair of clothing. She hasn't for a while. So it's not going to look as like ripped and everything. So it's going to look more nobility, like more noble again. You know how she was trying to hide it? It's going to go back to being the way it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's see. So after all that, you guys will eventually make your way kind of to the higher district. We are going to separate from the girls to the guys as you guys reach the area in which you need to be in. For the most part, it's going to be mostly empty. With the rain and everything like that, those who have the chance to get inside and get away from the rain they're going to take it. There might be a handful of people, but off the bat, nobody that you can see with the description of Edmund.
I guess Winters will try to look for anyone, and kind of ask around.
All right, give me a quick perception check.
$19.
All right. With a 19, there's really not many people. You might. Oh, wait a minute. Where would he be? Let me double check what time it is. So it would probably be 5 p.m. for you. After speaking with the man, going through town, getting back up there. So, yeah. 1 second. Let me take a quick roll because that's a natural 10. So you're going to notice a very particular person making their way down the road. Somebody very familiar, actually. The armor in which he is wearing is very shiny and bright. Although it seems to have, from what you remember, something different about it. There is a few dents in it. The male in which you are kind of looking at is blonde, relatively on the nobler aspect. He looks well-groomed, well taken care of, and quite similarly, his face is one that you can recognize. It was the gentleman in which you guys had split ways with from the Knolls.
Tensel would perk up seeing him again and yell over almost excitedly to see him again. Pimram! Pimram!
Pimram would, of course, look over, kind of give a small wave before making his way over to you guys. Hello. Oh, sorry. No, hello.
Hey, how are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Why?
The last we saw, you were heading off into the forest.
Yeah, about that. The gnolls have been taken care of. I'm currently staying in the giant. No, yeah, the giant. I believe the Giant's Toe Inn is what it was called.
Oh yeah, we were just there a little while ago. At this point, Tensel's gonna like take his backpack off and start rummaging in it.
Yeah, I am about to meet a noble there. I have a bit of a challenge. Again, like I said, I'm contesting the throne, so I'll be dueling with him this night.
In that case, with him still rummaging through his backpack, here, let me give you this back. This belongs to you. And he's gonna pull out his pack that he had left behind with us and return his cloak and such.
He'll kind of take it and kind of jostle in his hand a little bit, and then he'll hand it back. Well, I do appreciate you holding on to it, but you know, I think it suits you a little bit more, Tensel.
Tensel will look a little bit confused, as he's not sure how to take the situation, because he feels like he's been entrusted to take care of his things until he could give them back, and now that he's not wanting them, he doesn't understand quite much.
Seeing the confusion, so I haven't met anyone per se with kind of a timid nature, and with somebody who is kind of used to fighting, it's not common to come around. If I do become king, I will need a squire. In which case, I would then entrust my cape to them, or my belongings, to hold and learn from me. I don't want to say, because I'm not sure whether or not I'll get this title, but, well, if I do, then I would like to offer the position to you. It doesn't come with a noble title or anything other than potentially learning from me. Not that, you know, I'm... in other words, what I'm about to do, I can't hold on to my things. What you see is what I can carry. So I need somebody I can trust to hold on to it.
I can take care of them for longer. That's no problem for me.
I have a feeling that might be needed.
Tensel kind of understanding a little bit more of the gravity of the situation he's about to be putting himself into, and he'll pack it back into his backpack, and just not quite getting the whole squire part, but he's going to understand to the point that at a future time he may be needed again, so he'll hold his stuff for him and understand that part of it.
How are you and the others? I remember you were traveling with a young boy, and of course the two females, Charity and Maggie. I trust she didn't draw you guys into any issues.
We had a little bit of an adventure ourselves, and he'll like turn to look at Winters, seeing if you can help like kind of describe the situation.
It's been a long and wild ride. We didn't get here by carriage or anything like that. More by the magical means.
Magical how?
Not even I could tell you, but...
From what I could understand, there's the word teleportation thrown around a lot. It was really dark and strange. Needed all kinds of magic. It didn't matter who it came from, either.
Sound like one of the ancient ways. Alright. It was very rare to even find one, let alone be able to use it. If it is, of course, what you're explaining. That just adds to the confusion.
If I could I ask a favor from you?
Of course. You lent me a favor in which you held on to my items. I don't think there's any reason for me not to return the favor.
So, of course you remember the boy that was traveling with us,
Edmund.
Yes. He had also been teleported here, and we have been searching for him. If you do run into him before we have a chance to find him, let him know that we're gonna be staying at the temple for Aphrodite, and Nia, if you see her, tell her the same.
Will do. In which case I would ask a small favor of you as well, even though I know I've asked a lot.
Well, of course. I mean, he'll kind of hold out his hand as a gesturing motion just to, go ahead.
There has been whispers. Apparently, the High King has returned. I don't know if it's because he's heard of my challenge. I don't know if it's a coincidence, or maybe it's just perhaps hearsay. But if he is here, if he runs across any of you, I need to know right away.
With that being said, do you want me to just leave word at the Giant's Toe, or is there some place that we will be able to find you a little bit quicker during the day?
I will be staying at the Giant's Toe. However, for most of the time, I will be visiting Madame Tapinta. She will be in the higher end district. We're discussing certain things. Ones in which would be about turning Krokka into a kingdom. If, of course, I become High King, this should be my first thing to do. Among other things, to decree as well. But if the High King is around, I must defeat him in order to lay claim to the name.
I understand. If I do see anyone who claims to be the High King, I'll be sure to let you know.
Right. Well, I really must get going. I have to see a blacksmith about my armor. Got a little dinged up as I was fighting the gnolls.
One more thing before you leave. Do you know of a man named Aeson?
I ran into him earlier this morning, yes.
Do you know where he is?
Current location, Krokka, but other than that, no.
I see. Well, if you run into him, give him this. And Winter's will hand Pembrum something wrapped up. Essentially, what's inside of it is that magical longsword and shield. Thank you. And he'll just kind of wave him off.
This is quite hefty. He's going to kind of hold it, but it's definitely heavy.
It definitely is, but I'm sure you'll manage.
Right. It's the least I could do.
Thank you.
If this rain continues, they might end up changing the time of the attorney. They won't want the ground too soggy to fight on.
Yeah. Well, we'll let you go ahead and get back to your business. I'm sure you're a busy man. Um, thank you
Quite the
for your
opposite,
time.
really. Nobody seems. Oh, of course. If you guys need me, as I said, you can find me in the Giant Toe, or I will be with Madame Tepenta. He'll give a bow and he'll continue on down the path.
Tensel would attempt to mimic the bow before turning back to Winters.
Yeah, Winches will bow and kind of just pat Tensel on the back and start walking. So, do we keep looking, or?
With it getting late like this and with the rain, I don't think that's too much of a good idea. It could only get worse from here.
Let's return to the temple then.
Okay. And Tensel will start actually walking a little bit more confidently with a lot more of a sense of fulfillment in him.
So, I would say that by the time you guys arrive back at the inn, it won't take you long, so probably about 5:30, the sun will be going down, just ever so much. An amber sky will kind of rise over the horizon, just mixing with the clouds, giving quite an aura. Once you guys enter, you'll eventually find the girls up in the... oh, wait, no. Girls aren't at the inn. You guys were meeting back at the church, I believe. Yes. So once you enter the temple, there will be a small ceremony. Just a small group of people, I'd say probably 10, 15 people, doing silent prayers, though the room does have others kind of moving around and doing prayers or other certain things in the general area, which show that it's kind of okay to walk about. You won't disturb anybody.
Tensel, with his newfound a little bit of a confidence, he'll walk back up to the clergymen and start questioning them. Excuse me?
Ah, yes.
Um,
The boy from earlier.
yeah. And you'll see him kind of deflate at that. Our friends had came in here and we were looking to see where they may have went.
Ah, yes. Your friend Charity and your other friend have procured 2 rooms upstairs. I'm assured there should be enough room for all of you. Is this all of your group?
We are still searching for 2 more, but for the moment being, yes.
Well, there should be beds for 4. If you guys need for any more pillows or kind of mats, let us know down here, and we can see to it that your stay is comfortable.
Tensel will bow his head in a sign of thanks and proceed to look at the stairwell that he had ran away from.
Yep. So, if you guys are heading up, eventually you guys will kind of walk into the room. I would say at this point, Maggie is dressed, and Charity and Maggie are just kind of, I don't know, what would you 2 be doing in the room after all that?
Maggie would be cleaning off all her stuff and like tuning her viola, making sure it's still okay, and just kind of, small talk with Charity.
Charity would be half returning the small talk, but also she'd want to be praying a little bit since it's the first time she's back in her temple in quite a while.
Oh, okay. Well, if she was praying, like Maggie, if she would take the cue of her praying, she knows what she looks like when she prays, so she would shut the hell up after that.
All right. And the gentleman would probably walk in about that time.
We're back.
Welcome back. Did you find any information, or?
We met Pimbram again.
Oh?
His armor was a bit dented up from the fight with the gnolls, but besides that, he's fine.
Maggie's gonna slink slink down a little bit. I see.
He also decided to, let Tensel have his belongings.
Maggie's eyes are gonna she's gonna have this look like, what? This inquisitive look like, what?
It's something about being a squire in the future of him becoming the High King? I'm not too sure. I'm just going to hold on to his stuff for him for now.
He sure is very confident he's gonna become High King.
Charity's gonna open one eye and look at everyone with a raised eyebrow and be like, yes, he is, it seems. I mean, to be fair, the High King hasn't really been seen all too often, so he has a pretty good shot of convincing the nobles.
Fair enough. Maggie's just gonna be like, but it seems like he seems a little overconfident, if you ask me. It just seems like he has something else in store. I can't put my finger on it.
He did say he was going to be talking with someone named Madame Tapenta, and something about a duel. So...
A duel? With who?
I assume the High King.
He really didn't say.
Probably another noble trying to prove his worth.
Interesting. Corey, would I know anything about this madam?
You could roll a history.
Okie dokie. 22!
Natural 20!
So
I know her blood type.
So Madame Tapenta is one of the 5 higher nobles. As far as standing goes, she might have one of the top 2 kind of says of what might occur in case of any kind of emergency or anything like that. She's also the one that oversees the finances for the actual events itself in krokka every year.
So she basically has krokka by the balls.
I wouldn't say that. She still she accounts for most of votes or say of what goes on, but if any of the nobles kind of don't like that, they can put her at a standstill.
Ah, okay. So she's powerful, but she's not overpower. You know what I mean?
She's part of a council. Yeah.
Yeah. So she definitely has a weight with her words, but it's not like, oh my god, it's Madam. No. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Okay. I get you. Maggie's gonna nod and she's gonna be like, It seems very suspicious to me. She's gonna be like, and then she's gonna be like, he doesn't know. Does he know? And she's gonna she's saying this as her eyes are shifting back and forth. And she's gonna be fiddling with the crystal that she had. The crystal. She's gonna be trailing off. She's not gonna be making any sense.
Well, these are things we could possibly look into tomorrow if that would be something you want to investigate further. There's a lot we have to get done.
Maggie's going to straighten herself and she's be like, yes, I think I'm going to have to talk to a lot of nobility, see what the hell is going on here. See what he knows. Maybe I could have a lunch with him. She's going to lean back a little bit.
A lunch?
Well, what better way to figure out what someone knows than to just ask them?
Exactly. Over food. She's gonna smile gently.
Food makes everyone calmer, more likely to actually talk.
Exactly. I'm not. She's gonna look at him. I didn't mean anything rash. I just wanted to talk to him over lunch because I'm hungry.
Yeah, food does sound really good right now. And then he's gonna remember that he has the water skin full of the ale, and he's gonna pull it out and take a drink.
All right.
Ale on an empty stomach. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. We gonna get fucked up.
Well, so taking a drink of this, you're going to find that there's not really a lot of alcohol in it. If anything, you're going to get a note of a lot of different like herbs, maybe a little bit of berries. It seems almost like a tonic, really, than an ale. So it's kind of a little bit more viscous than like a watery substance. Best way to put it is like drinking down a watered version of Dayquil.
That actually kind of sounds disgusting in real life.
It's a little off-putting, but I mean it's healthy.
Without knowing any better, he's just gonna keep drinking it, thinking it might taste better the more he has, but he's not gonna be like chugging it, just little sips here and there, and kind of noting the flavor of it.
So what would you guys like to do next?
I assume it's like nighttime, right?
It's about 6 p.m.
Oh, okay, I thought it was later. Sorry.
But I will say, with the storm raging outside, it's kind of lit almost like 8 p.m. So
Charity will. Oh, sorry, you go.
Tensel will find himself a little spot and kind of take his pack out and start checking over his stuff, and then pull out the cape or the cloak that Pimbram had gave him and start looking over it.
okay.
Charity will look at the rest of the party and speak up a little bit and go, do we want to go and talk to Gareth about the thing that's coming?
You may.
I'll go with if you like. No one should have to go alone.
I was just wondering whether he even wanted to ask for his help, or the church's help, rather.
Well, I mean, I don't know if the church can do much in a situation like that. I mean, the most I can see them doing is just warning the congregation. But at that point, it would just seem like a bunch of radicals, and that's not good for the people.
Yes, but the other thing that they can do is offer shelter for the people who decide not to heed any warnings.
You can try.
Maggie, dear, do you still have the crystal?
Maggie will nod and hand it to her.
Right. I'll see if I can get this to show the images again, maybe.
All right. Well, I think that is a perfect place to end it for the night.
Woo!
Woo.
What?
So we will continue with this next time.
Hi everybody, my name is Winter and I play Charity, the Tiefling Cleric. I just wanted to remind you all to follow and subscribe to us on iTunes, Podbean and Google Play at Opportunity Roll. And if you guys want to support us and gain some magical swag, head to our Patreon at Opportunity Roll. Don't forget to like our Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube so you don't miss any updates on what we're doing. And if you want to get in touch with us or ask us any questions, you're more than welcome to contact us at opportunityroll.podcast@gmail.com. I wanted to thank Purple Planet Music for we use all of their music for our music. And I wanted to thank Kobold Press as we use some of their monsters from the Tome of Beasts to keep our players on their toes. I just wanted to thank you guys for returning this episode to listen to us. It was a lot of fun and we hope you enjoyed it too. And remember, keep your opportunities open.